Hey guys, it's Candace, Trinice, and V, and this is BGB. Today we are going to be talking about a show on Hulu called Woke. It's a new comedy. Comedy!
That's how black people be adding T's and stuff when it don't belong.
Comedy. It's a new comedy, and it comes on. It comes on Hulu, and it has 8 episodes.
Ooh, when I first, just jumping on in.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I first saw like the promotion for it, I was like,
Yeah, I wasn't too fancy about it either.
It wasn't really anybody I knew. I mean, I noticed. I think his name is LaMorne. Wow, his name is LaMorne. That's your man's from New Girl.
Oh yes,
Winston.
yes. I forgot. I didn't even know he was on there. I didn't even know he was on
Evidence.
there. Wow. Oof.
You watch New Girl?
I'm not an avid watcher.
So then why would you know?
Because
all,
I've seen it here. I've seen it here and there.
The show's canceled now.
I've seen it here and there with their little yellow dresses on. It's a blonde chick and a brunette.
That's not right.
It's not at all.
It's the one girl. I think you think about the Cupcake Girls.
No, Cupcake Girls.
That's exactly who you're thinking about.
What's that show?
Now I can't remember.
Dang it.
Because I used to love that show.
We gotta do better because somebody literally called me on the phone and was like, when we used on the Insecure episode, they was screaming, "We got y'all," because we could not get it out. And I was like, I know we was struggling with that, but we got it. We got it. So,
Two Broke Girls.
There it is. See, that's
not the show we talking about.
No,
New Girl.
Oh, my bad.
So like I've always seen this black guy around, and like he's been on a lot of stuff, but it's never been something I'm like, oh yeah, I love him and I want to follow him. Like it's never been like that. But I'm like, okay, if he's in it, it's black, I'll support it. I really, really don't like JB Smoove's voice, but that's just my own personal thing.
Yeah, he been getting a lot of roles here, man. I'm just saying he out there.
Does he have a list
my
or not?
boys, I think he does, but my boys absolutely love him.
JB Smoove?
Yeah, they love his commercials.
That don't mean they love him.
They always talking about him. Him and the Old Spice guy.
I never heard them talk about him.
Maybe not to you. I live with them.
Wow, they always talking about JB Smoove. Okay, Miss Girl. So basically, this show is an. I didn't like what your face is doing.
I didn't either.
But this show is about.
My face is none of y'all's business.
It definitely
clearly
It's not. It's not. And I'm not looking at either one of y'all today. So keep it moving. What did you think about it? Go ahead, keep it moving. What you saying?
Y'all see this? See this energy? Anyway, this show is about an African American cartoonist who's on the verge of mainstream success until something happens and affects that. First of all, his name is Keef. 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 And when I saw that, I was like, why would they do that? Not Keith. Keef.
Because,
it reminded me of Mean
because
Girls.
that's the why. Because a lot of people pronounce it that way. The same way I just messed up a word, and a lot of people call Anthony.
Anthony.
Funny.
Well, on Mean Girls, his nephew's name was Anthony, so
Oh,
that's just what that is. But like, I just wasn't into like the whole cartoon thing and the characters. But I watched it because we have to expand our horizons.
They watched it because I begged them to watch it, first of all.
That as well.
That is very
she
true.
She did ask us to watch it, and I was just like, it was giving me, what's that show that I watched that I didn't like last time? White Famous vibes, like that sort of want to be
Really?
funny.
That show was so crass.
It was crass. I mean, not in the same way, like crass way,
The
but
look
like
of
the supposed to be appealing to us, but not really.
Oh,
like
okay.
that black white humor.
I mean,
when
I think I liked it at first.
when
No, I didn't like it at 1st.
Didn't
I'm
like
sorry.
which one? This one.
Well, you know I didn't like it.
We
right
do
now.
know you didn't like that. Yes, woke.
Yeah. I felt so many different ways with this. Well, I wasn't quite sure how it was going to go, first of all. Then once I started watching, I was like, okay. But I just felt like they were throwing so much out at me so quickly within like the first couple of seconds of it that, well, like 5 minutes of it, I felt like I knew so much about everything that I was just like, wow, this is like, I need to pause it for a second and go back and try to figure out why this was and this was already. It was just a lot happening. But I grew to like it.
I didn't like it until like the 8th. No, I'm sorry.
I was going to say the 8th episode. That's
No,
the last
the 6th episode, because I was watching it like, okay, like I understood it. I got what they were trying to do, but it didn't really resonate with me. And I was just like, okay, all right, okay. And then once we got to the episode about I think it was a koala bear.
Yes.
Kirby.
Yes.
Whatever
The
his
one that
name is.
hit him? The koala bear. Did he hit him?
The one that
They got in a fight?
they did get in a fight, but that was a character version of the real one.
Oh, okay.
So when we got to that episode, then I was like, I like this episode.
Oh.
That was probably my favorite episode. But
Ooh.
other than that, I was just like,
Wow.
okay. It just seemed. I'm sorry. What did you initially feel?
The show actually went really quick for me. I watched it like 3 times in one day. Because I didn't. I
one
kept
day you was
missing
off
it.
work.
Oh, because you kept missing it. Cause
You know, I used to work from home.
Oh, right.
So yes, I was off work. Like, but yeah, I just felt like, dang, it's over already. Let me start this over. And
oof. Oof. Oof.
I practically hated this show.
What? You hated the show? But you wanted us to watch it so bad.
But you watched it. Wait.
And you watched it 3 times?
Wait. You watched it 3 times.
So because the thing about me is, I don't like to just. Okay, sometimes I do pass the little judgment before really getting into it.
Says Miss,
But-
I know I'm better than you.
And that's why I'm better than people, because I'm honest. But I like to really, when I decide that I'm gonna hate something, I gotta make sure that I hate it. Like, oof, I think I hate this for sure.
Wow.
Oof.
So
Oof is also.
unless
on the
I
lines
don't
of
want to
respect
try
for me.
it at all, then that's like, I don't even want to get into that because I'm probably gonna hate it. But if I watch it, it's like I gotta make sure that I actually hate this, because it was like, I mean, I can't really say why I hate it without getting into it. So
that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get into it.
all right, well, I hate it because I felt like I don't know anybody's name, so just let that go now.
I will give you the names.
The white boy.
Gunther.
I did not like Gunther. Oh my gosh, you know Toya,
You
I know you're going to be
disliked
listening to
him
this,
at that episode, the police.
and you know how I feel about Gunther, Toya. I don't like that white boy, and he will be called that white boy, because I just felt like he was a symbol of just a white savior that was unnecessary in this moment. He was, I thought about it today because I was at work heating up my lunch.
Distraught.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was pretty upset about it, and I was just like, his insight on stuff, it was always like really like, oh, so positive, like, oh, except for when he had to go meet with the police officer. He did say, do not do that. But just his insight on stuff was like, oh, this wasn't really that bad. Or just him being able to walk up to that police officer. It just was like so much privilege. And even
that was the whole point, right? To show you that.
and even his, you made me forget.
Clovis.
What?
Who?
What?
Gunther.
No, she made me forget.
What? Who? What? Who?
His privilege in understanding things is something we don't have the ability to do. So not just his privilege in like walking up to that police officer and poking him. He was poking him.
Yeah, we saw it.
Yeah, we saw it. So we didn't talk about that. But what happened, the incident that happened is we see Keef, who is a very famous cartoonist. He has this cartoon, this column. It's called Toast and Butter.
Yes.
And it's like now they want to take a mainstream and let him get deals and sign him to like a deal and everything. And so he's putting up a flyer. He's putting up like his artwork around, and the police just come out of nowhere and tackle him like, you're this perp we looking for, whatever. And he's just like, his whole world is rocked.
He's putting up his own flyer? I thought he was putting up something for the white boy.
He was putting something up.
He was putting up a flyer. Period.
Yeah, some sort of flyer. And they came and they just like tackle him to the ground, and he's just like, what did I do? All discombobulated and doesn't understand what's going on.
Something like that happened to me once.
Ooh.
Oh, we'll share in a second. And then after that, when his roommate Gunther was there, and he came up to the police and he's like, what are you doing? Blah blah blah. And they're like, we're looking for this 6 foot tall black man. Keef is not 6 foot, and he was just like, get off my bro, like leave him alone. And then once they leave the incident, like Keef is like, I don't understand, because I think the thing that's so crazy to me about this whole thing is he felt like he could not be political as a black person, and I just don't understand that.
A lot of people feel that way because they just feel like they just want to live their life. They don't want no trouble. They don't want no problems.
It's not possible.
When stuff so it's like it. I mean, I understood this show in so many aspects, believe it or not, because it could have been me. So
Yeah, all lives matter.
because it was just not that I never thought that things would happen to me, because plenty of things have happened, but it was just that you just think sometimes when you just regularly living your life and you're just out here, you know what I'm saying, like doing everything that you think that you're supposed to be doing to be able to maintain, to stay out of trouble, to stay positive, to, you know, be on a certain path. You think in your mind, hey, that's good, but it may not happen to me. You know, those type of things. Even though I'm black, you just think that. You just think that.
I don't understand, but how? Because you have family members, you have stories, you have history where you know that that's not the case.
I understand that, but I mean,
it makes sense though.
But when you think about it, that's why a lot of people move. Because they say, oh, it possibility it'll happen here, but maybe it won't happen here.
Yes,
you know, those type of things. We do things because we try to get ourselves out of a place of where we don't want to be.
Right. Or you don't do things because you want to make yourself invisible so people leave you alone.
I understand, because every time I drive past the cops, this is just my coping. I just make sure I turn my music up and I'm having a great time, because I don't think many criminals are looking like they're having a good time. So if I'm driving past the cops, I'm gonna turn my music up and be like, like I'm gonna do all of it.
And every time I drive past them, I make sure that I kind of show my ring and I'm like talking back to the kids or something like that. Like, I don't know.
So you have a man around?
No.
That's not gonna help you.
No, I'm just saying. No, I just kind of like.
Do you do anything? Is there any way that you handle it?
I turn my music up and put my middle finger up.
But no, I know we all look back when we drive past them. Y'all all look up in the rear view.
Yeah, I always look in the rear view. I look in the rear view until I can't see them anymore.
Yeah, me too.
I'll be looking but that's just from
I'll be looking at
my
the speedometer like, you better not jump.
Yeah. And I just be like, man. Or like when I see them come out and but I be seeing other cars behind me, I be like, they definitely going for them because I didn't do anything. You know, or I try to turn off or something like that, but not on a street that I know that a lot of traffic is, and those type of things. Yeah, and it's sad.
That's how
sad.
we
You should turn into the street with traffic so you can duck and dodge and hide in between the cars.
But on to how we handle or situations that we don't want to be in. Do you want to share, if you feel like you want to share that story? You said you could relate so much.
Oh, I feel like I talked about this one time before on the show. I went to a B2K concert once, and it's not funny, but you guys should know me by now. I laugh at horrific things. My mother came to pick me and whoever, I can't remember who came with me to this concert, but she came to, I want to say it was my old friend. Her name was Vashti, something like that. Yeah. And she pulled up, and as soon as she pulled up, the police threw me against her car. And they wasn't like beating me up, but they was roughhousing me just a tad bit. And she jumped. This is not many times that she come to my rescue. This would be the one time. And she was like, "What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing?" And it was like, somebody was out here fighting, and they said that they had on a peacoat. And I was like, dang, that's all I had to have on was a peacoat?
Girl, like that's not a fashion. Like that's in fashion.
Another police officer came up, was like, that's not her, that's not her, that's not her. And then they just let me go.
Did they apologize?
No, that's the thing that bothers me.
And I was like, y'all not going to say nothing? Y'all not just going to leave my child here like this? And I was like, well, she does love me.
Wow.
She does love me.
You know, sometimes you do need those moments.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I just felt like, to me, that whole thing about, all right, I understand wanting to reduce the possibility, but for knowing that means that you know that it's there. So even if you reduce it, that means it still can happen.
Right.
So that's why it's like,
I wasn't doing
but some people
leaving a concert.
I'm just saying, but some people really legit, some people are oblivious to it. Like they just think that it could never happen to them.
But see, that's what
like,
I'm saying.
And I mean, it's not just in like situations like that, like my son, prime example, like he does things and I always feel like, I look at him and I be like, you just think that's not gonna ever happen to you, like you could possibly never fail.
Well,
like
clearly you
certain
told him
things
that.
like that, you know. What? Taught him what? The things ain't gonna never happen to him?
Yes.
That is,
you just
that
said
is very
you was one of those
untrue.
people. You just said you was one of those people.
But you also know how I raise my kids, and I've raised them very aware. I do not play with. I I'm just
All I'm
saying,
saying
I
is-
do that for myself to a certain extent, but I'm also, because of the life that I lived, all of y'all know I am very on guard. I'm very cautious about the way that I live my life. I don't even
All of
drive
us.
the same way
mean,
to my
baby,
house. If I could cut
seriously?
across
Oh my
the
God,
grass, I
yes.
would.
Then you're going to jail. But I just feel like to me, it's crazy because to feel like you have the option to be oblivious is a sort of privilege to me.
I can
Like,
see that.
it's like, oh, you know what? I know this is happening, but
That's just
and
like
then-
when people get killed or
Well,
something,
wait,
and if it's not
Are
close
we
to you,
talking
you
about
don't
the
pay
same
attention.
thing here?
what do you think we're talking
Because
about?
now you're using the word oblivious, and I think that she was just saying like trying to be more so invisible, so that so you don't attract people. I think
Right.
oblivious is more so like, oh, I'm naive to what's going on around me.
Right, yeah,
She's
no.
saying that the people are aware, but they are trying to do stuff to basically minimize themselves so that they aren't noticed.
Right, but before that, she said the word oblivious, and that's where I got it from.
Did I?
Well,
Because
we
that's a
can roll
pretty
the
big
tapes.
word.
We can roll the tape.
We can't roll the tapes.
We can
have
roll them.
something to do
We
today,
can roll them in
guys.
post. I just feel like
So I
even
think
in
that's-
that, even in that, like to willfully say like, okay, you are in a place where you're more privileged. Like even if we take athletes and things like that, like you're in a place where you feel that you're more privileged. But we have since seen, especially on social media, there was one football player. He's in his own house, and they called the police on him in his house that he paid for.
Yeah.
This has been so many incidents where money doesn't save you, location does not save you,
Only
complexion
thing
does
saves
not
you is
save
being
you.
a president.
That doesn't save you either, because I'm
Save
sure they
you
pulled
only
Barack over
if
as soon as he
you
got out of office, right before and right after, to
That
keep him in the place.
horrible orange monkey.
Yikes. So this series is actually semi-autobiographical. Ooh, that was about to be a bit. So the actual person who's based off of, his name is Keith.
Does he spell his name the
Keith
same way?
Knight. No, not Keith.
That's why she pronounced
Keith.
it that way.
Okay.
So you
Keith
know.
Knight. And he said that he actually does do
Is
cartoons.
he? Oh, Keith Knight.
Yes, Knight. He does do cartoons, and he said he was racially profiled by cops in San Francisco 20 years ago.
Yeah. I do
And he said
remember
that was
reading
like the beginning of
Everything.
all of this. And then like he has a lot of work. If you find his work on kchronicles.com, I was looking through him. I was just like, same way I felt about the show. Like I get it, but it's not for me. But maybe it's because I know this. Like maybe it's just not hitting me the same. You know, I just feel like I've had to be aware. And I also chose to be aware, my major in college. So it's different where it's certain things that it's like, I just thought this was something that was common for all of us. Because like when in the show, when Keith had his moment where he was like, oh, I don't know what to do. Like I have rage, I have this. I'm like, people struggle with that every day. Like,
Yeah,
every
but when
single day.
it happens to you, I mean, that's just like, you know, what is it?
PTSD.
I just wanted to make sure I got those letters right. But I'm just saying, it develops in so many different avenues and so quickly sometimes when things happen to you. So when you're not used to those type of feelings and they like overwhelm you and overtake you, you just like, oh my God, you get kind of jumbled in an aspect that you don't know what to do. You don't know how to handle it because you don't want to necessarily get out of your character, but it's like it's something new to you that you haven't experienced. So he didn't know what to do with that, with those emotions, like because he was trying to make sure that this didn't happen.
Right, but it just reminds me of the people that are like, oh, well, these people should have just done this. And this is always timely. Like, this show could drop 10 years ago or 10 years from now, and it would still be relevant. And that's what Keith Knight said, the actual Keith Knight. He said that racism is evergreen in this country. Police brutality is evergreen. It would be relevant at any time.
I heard somebody say something the other day. I don't want to misquote them, but basically what they were pretty much
She about
saying.
to, though. She about to, though.
But basically what they were saying was racism is never gone and it's never erased. It only grows. So if a person ever showed some evidence of them being racist, 9 times out of 10, it's just like conformed into something else, basically.
I don't know if I. Can
I'm not saying
agree with that.
I'm not saying if I agree with. I'm just saying I
I'm
just heard this
just saying
statement.
what I'm saying. So
What you say, sis?
I think that racism does not come naturally. I think that it is
A learned
planted
behavior.
in people. Yes, absolutely. And so now I think it's cancerous, and once it's in there, it's very hard to cut out. But that doesn't mean that it's impossible. And I think that it'll take a lot of love and a lot of patience. But if someone wanted to not be racist.
It can happen.
It could happen.
I mean, I guess it's the way I feel about it is it's along the same. I think it's along the same lines of if you believe that people can change, then you know what I'm saying. Then that should be possible. So,
but yeah, so I feel like with the whole, to me, is given the place of, okay, we see these people getting shot on TV. We see this happening to other people's sons and daughters, and it's not going to happen to ours. It's giving me that. So that it's like, when it's happening over there, oh, that's over there. But when it comes to your area, it's like, now I want everybody to be up in arms over what's important to me. And that concerns me because it's like, did we care when it was Breonna Taylor? Did we care when it was George Floyd? Did we care? Like, did you care then? And then when it's in your city, in your neighborhood, when it's affecting you, now it's like everybody on alert, but you didn't care. Like, and that's the thing. And I'm not saying, okay, not to say they did not care. There was no connection to that situation. There was no.
But I think can we be more specific with the they?
Black people, the black people that choose to say, I'm
in
not
in relation to the show.
she's talking about Keith, right?
Yeah,
You
Keith.
felt like he didn't care prior to this?
No, he had no. First of all, the first time we met him, I don't think he had any connection to black culture. Period. I didn't see anything.
Well, I could see like a smidgen of what you're saying when he ran into what's her name that was in the is her name Yana? The one
Ayana.
in the bookstore.
Yeah, the black girl.
When she was like, "Oh, you're Keith," blah, blah, blah. You know, she was very, you know.
Yeah, and he was just like,
I'm not. Why do we always gotta be political with
Exactly,
anything,
yeah.
whatever? And her whole look of how she viewed him changed in that moment.
and that's what I'm saying. And it's not like you have every right to do that, and that's fine. My issue comes in now. Taking this prime example, that's what you said to Ayana when you first met her. But then you want people to be up in arms about what the cops did to you. You want people to understand this is now how I feel. I need this sympathy. I need these support, this emotion. But you didn't
was
have
he like that though? Because I just feel like he was struggling with the whole thing.
before it happened.
No, after it
No,
happened.
I'm saying before it happened, he had no care about this
Right,
at all.
and I'm saying-
after it happened, now it's like I need to understand. I need some help. Somebody help me process what's going on.
Right, that's what I'm saying. He still didn't have a real connection to it because he didn't know. Like, I just feel like sometimes when you don't go through something, and yes, you could see certain things that are happening. You can completely, can you think?
I know it's
oh,
getting on my
God.
nerves. You're not alone. Go ahead.
I feel like sometimes it's just, and I'm not saying that it's like really okay or anything like that. I'm just saying that I do understand it, and it is a reality that sometimes you don't understand certain things until it like
hits home.
yeah. So like you're not big on. She loves people, guys, but you're not big on like
Wait a minute, what's about to happen?
yeah, I'm not supposed to be looking at you. You're not big on like love and romanticism. Is that a word?
That is a word, yes.
So like when Lassie wants to talk about stuff, you like, I just don't get it. I really don't care. Like, it's not that deep, and not that you don't completely like you don't care, but it's just not something that you can understand.
Right, but because that's my sister, I make it a
But
point
that's
to make that.
not all the time. You don't. Not all the time. You
I
don't.
make it a point to let her know this is what I can do, this is what I can understand. And if not, these are people and these are resources that can help. However I can offer is what I can offer.
My point is you can't grasp the understanding
But I'm
of that.
aware.
Relax, I'm talking.
Don't
I said so.
you don't have to be disrespectful.
Okay, ladies.
So because that's something that you can't connect to or you can't relate to, while you feel like you might be doing the best that you could do, it's just like you need to call Candace because I don't really
But I know it's I know it's
that
going
nigga
on.
don't matter.
Exactly.
So because
this-
you can't, because that's not something that you have been through because of whatever
Disconnect.
that's a good word. Whatever disconnect you have in that area, like I said, she does love people, guys.
Disclaimer.
So it's just a specific area where she think you niggas don't matter. Psych.
Facts, sis, facts.
But there have been times when you feel emotionally connected to a situation, and then it's like, oh, I need somebody to talk to you about this. And it's just like, nigga, did you understand when anybody else was needing somebody to talk to you about something? He was like, go send that Mary Pack in. So I'm just
Noah Joseph. But anyway, I understand what you're saying. But what that's okay. I feel like it's a world of difference between me feeling like what my tolerance level for romantic love and understanding that people killing somebody affects everybody.
No,
obviously
it's like
we
there
can't
are
understand
different levels, but I'm trying to get you to grasp it and understand it. But this is something that you're a part of. First of all, he's probably primarily his. I don't know about that little short stumpy guy, and if that's
Clovis.
like his real best friend. I don't care about these people's names. I hate this show.
But you watched it 3 times.
See the one man that's watching.
So I can understand it.
All right, okay. Clovis.
Yes.
Whatever. But he's really connected out here with Gunther. And just he's just disconnected from I just feel like this. Everybody is not as pro-black as they should be, obviously. That's why Black Lives Have to Matter. And it's a whole slogan about it. But when you're not in something, when you don't have that struggle daily, it's just not the same. Like,
I just can't.
And yes, you can't understand
I'm
it.
not saying,
but
I understand you can't relate to it. But we have it's so much more knowledge and awareness now. That's like somebody telling me when they show Emmett Till's funeral, you don't understand how a mother could be crying. Like, I get you, like, it's crazy. That's a lot, whatever. But basic human understanding is somebody doing this to anybody is not okay. So that's what I can't understand.
It's kind of like when you didn't understand postpartum.
I understood postpartum. I just did not think that's what was happening because I thought that person was manipulating the situation. I completely understand postpartum.
In that moment, you could not relate to it or try to understand it at all.
I said
you thought it was straight buffoonery.
No, I said
you did not connect to it at all.
Again,
Facts.
I said it was the person that I have known to be a manipulator that I could not relate that to, not the postpartum situation. That's different.
Okay, girl.
That's like
we
that's
can
like Keef,
definitely debate about this.
Yes,
for
that's like
ourselves.
Keith Thomas.
Me, guys.
Like, I just feel like it's just so much more awareness and knowledge now that it doesn't make sense to me that somebody can be like, I didn't know it was like this. That's what I'm saying.
Well, people could be like that if they had a family that like, say you have a white family that raises a black child and they keep them away from, different aspects of
It don't
blackness.
even have to be that far.
You know what I'm saying?
they can find racism in school.
They might not.
Knowledge is at the tip of your fingers, literally. But if it's not something that you have experienced, if it's not something that you have fully been aware of or a part of, then it's just not weighing that heavy on you. Anything is like that. As soon as something hits closer to home, period, it just weighs
different.
more. And that is just by nature. Like, there are people that are not going to understand that. What do you mean you had an eviction notice on your door before? Like, nigga, they got a yellow paper, a pink paper, and the sheriff come.
Until now.
It happens. Like,
It does happen.
I don't know that is even possible.
I'm saying,
but then, when your
Corona
stuff is
hit.
sitting outside,
Corona
now
ain't
you
working.
now you start to
understand.
GoFundMe.
So
but
it's
I get that, but what I'm saying is, as a
Somebody
black
sent me a
person,
GoFundMe the other day. I could not
Did you
believe
respond?
it. No.
Oh, as a black person in America, I don't understand how you can have that privilege. Is
Okay.
what I'm saying.
All right.
I'm agreeing with you guys. I completely agree. Things are not as real when they don't hit as close to home. I understand that. But as a black person in the America that we live in, with a constant news cycle, as somebody that works in the news, literally every week we talking about this.
I mean,
It's in TV shows, it's in movies, it's in songs, it's in everything.
it is.
But if you don't want to be aware, but if you don't want to, if you
That's what
don't
I'm
want to
saying.
be aware of it, you don't.
And that's a choice, is all I'm saying.
Okay.
It's a choice. So do you think that this sort of encounter, like that Keef had, I'm sorry, what does the term woke mean to you?
Let's not start talking about that around here.
Oh, why?
You know what the
I
people
just
were saying
think
about
just
you
being
before.
aware.
Oh.
You know.
I just think just being aware, just more aware of what happens, what could possibly happen, what, that's what I think woke means. Short definition.
To me, being woke means just understanding things on different levels. Like there are surface issues, of course, but it's like knowing that the white people move when you move in, but understanding why they move when you move in. When you are black, if you're listening, you're black.
We have white. In that scenario, you would be black.
You, yes.
The you is black. We do have white listeners.
Yes.
We do. Shout out to y'all for holding through because I know it's probably hard.
It is.
I can't imagine. I mean, actually,
thank you.
our foremothers and
If
fathers
y'all
could
want to
definitely
sit
imagine.
down and talk about it, I'm willing. I'm open.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would love it. I would love discourse.
And I stand strong in what I believe in.
I'm
But
sorry.
yes, that's what. If we're doing short and tall references, that's the short answer I have for you.
Yeah, I think woke is knowledgeable and also aware. And y'all both said it, but it's like it's a difference. Like we've clearly debated about. There's a difference between knowing something and understanding something, and I think we're in a place where there's so much knowledge, but people don't take the time to get the understanding, and that is the issue. Like even down to Black Lives Matter. Like people hear it, they understand what's happening, they know what's happening, they don't understand. They hear it, they see it, but it's like, okay, what next? We get a T-shirt. What does that mean? What does that do? Where does this go? How does this affect this? And I don't think people really understand the depths of what Black people and other minorities in this country are fighting on a daily, yearly, weekly, generational level. I don't think they really understand that. But yeah, this is pretty depressing. Do you feel like your worldview can be changed once you have a negative encounter with the police? You hate the cops now? Because you know that B2K concert.
Oh, I mean, I've never been a fan of the cops ever since this one time. I was a young girl, and I was riding in the backseat on Parent Parkway, and I saw this police car. This is when I knew they were corrupt. They kept riding behind this car, and it's like every time, it was like watching Lovecraft Country. Every time the car would like try to drive the speed limit and like slow down, because you know that's what people do when they see cops. The cop would just like speed up behind them and make them go faster. And they did this like 5 times to the point where the car started driving a little bit faster, and then whoop whoop whoop, they put them lights on. I said, "Oh, they are nasty, nasty,
So nasty
people.
and so rude."
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
But in my years of maturity, I understand that there are good and evil in all areas. Like there's evil Black people.
Absolutely.
50 Cent. But there are good police officers, and if I'm going to be honest, I probably watch the white ones more. But I look out for the coonery as well. So,
don't discount the Black ones.
Oh, for sure, I'm not, because I'm not even going to get started on that. That's what threw me up against that car. Black. He was a black. He threw me right up against there. But I try to judge I try to make my judgments based off of my encounters. Like one time I got pulled over, and I don't know if I was filled with fear and he could tell, but this white police officer pulled me over. He was like, "Ma'am, I'm just pulling you over because you have a broken tail light. I'm just going to give you a warning. Everything's okay." And I was like, "All right, sir, thank you."
Girl, and it was another time we was going to South Carolina and they called us animals. So it's different.
They didn't call me an animal, and they're lying.
What you heard this
That's
morning.
not what they said.
Called us a herd. Y'all heard it here
They
first.
were
Reporting
country.
live.
They were country.
Oh my gosh.
And they gave me a $300 ticket.
Ooh,
She was
child.
recklessly
I
driving.
was not driving recklessly.
Let me tell you something. And where's the
wasn't
speed limit
reckless.
ever 100?
It wasn't reckless.
It only goes. The speed limit goes up to 70.
All I'm saying is it wasn't reckless.
At 30 miles per hour over the speed limit, for sure, that's reckless.
Now you a cop.
All I'm telling y'all is this. I was asleep in that back seat, and then all I heard was the tires going over them bridges. I was like, oh my God, what's happening here? Woke up to a gun in my face like I'm playing.
Oh my God.
What you heard this morning.
I will say that I have had a lot of encounters with cops.
And
see who y'all dealing with. It has not. I think I kind of agree with Candace. Like, I judge it on the situation at hand. Because I mean, I've had some really nasty, angry cops. I've had some very physical cops. I've had some.
Those state troopers be the worst. I think it's those hats.
Yeah.
Pissed.
I've had some pretty nice cops. I've had some jerks and some cops, and I've had some really sweetheart darlings. And I actually even dated a cop. So,
y'all had handcuffs. We all right. I know you don't want to
talk
show my
about
violence here.
Let's talk about that, girl.
You know we single.
Oh God. But yeah, so I mean, I think that I try to see how the situation is being handled, and I go into the situation with caution, but yet understanding that they have a job to do, but yet still saying this could possibly happen. So even though I come, this is my first step. Even though I come in contact with any cop, the first thing, honestly, that I do now is turn on a camera.
I'll be scared.
Guys, the police don't have to be there for her to turn the camera on.
That is true, girl.
All she wants to be is TMZ. It's sickening.
And she can't even see. That's what be crazy.
Woo, child. Well, it is what it is. So just be aware.
I think
so. If I pop up on Facebook or something, and I'm just not talking, be aware.
Follow it, repost it. I feel the same. Please. I haven't typically. I mean, the bad experiences I've seen with cops have been to somebody else. I haven't had the misfortune of it happening to me.
Thank God.
I've seen like.
I'm just saying, worst experience ever.
Yeah, they was tearing my father up. I mean, he was a career criminal, so I understand. I don't understand. I'm sorry. I get what they were trying to do their job. I think my issue is never with the individual, it's with the establishment. And I think until we fix the fact that these are the negative, the racism that's built into that system, it won't work. Because it's kind of like, we think about the school system. You have some amazing teachers and you have some lazy teachers, and they get the same benefits and the same bonuses. And then you have people like when we were in college, it was some horrible professors that just wanted to get tenure so they can just keep being horrible and keep getting paid for it. So it's like, it's not necessarily the people.
Yeah.
It's the system that allows these things and that don't teach these things and don't reward the good and don't deal with the bad when they need to. So I feel like that's really what...
I think it's the people in the system. I think it's both parts.
Okay. But I think because you can have a good cop, you can have a cop that goes in
brick by brick.
All right. You can have a cop that goes in that has the right intentions. That's like, I want to serve my community. I want to help. And over time, you can have people that teach them, hey, this ain't worth it. I mean, you can make more money by doing this. Or, it's better if you want to meet your quota. You can be like that cop Candace was talking about and chase people down and make them, violate the speed limit so you can get your money. Like, it's a bunch of things that they can learn in a system.
If it was around that time.
It probably was.
It's a bunch of things that this corrupt system can do to corrupt a person that wasn't that way. So it's like, each cop, I think, should have the chance, especially black cops, because it's hard enough having to go into that system. I don't know what they have to go through, with hazing, because it's a lot.
They probably get pistol whipped in second plane.
Wow.
I guess it depends on the location of where
and also like the social climate of what city they're in, how people view, like, it's just a lot of things that come into play. But I do think that the system needs to be reworked and revamped. I think that we need to have more accountability.
Yes.
We need to have more honesty and integrity. I don't think that people should have a death sentence for a moment.
Right.
Because there's so many people that we've seen that have been rehabbed that have...
And you know how these things start, guys? With voting. So...
That's very true.
Make sure that you get out and vote.
Make sure
it's
y'all vote.
Very important.
Make
If
sure
you
y'all
don't
vote.
vote, you really can't say anything, honestly.
It's true. It's
If
true.
you don't vote, you go to hell. Suck just
Wow. But yeah, so
Already
all
living
of
in
that. Wow. All of that is really important because if we don't say like this is what we want as a people, they're gonna keep doing what they want because it benefits them, and we're gonna have the people telling us what they want to do, securing and policing us.
Yep.
I mean, like it should be the same way. Like, how people hire security guards, like personal security. Don't they say like this is what I like, this is what I don't like, this is this is that?
That's not the same.
I'm saying like, but as citizens, we should be able to say like
You should if you vote.
that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
And I
I was
also
gonna say,
think they
yeah.
need to do more with mental health. Like they need to have like somebody that rides along on
It needs
certain
to have,
calls or
yeah.
something, education,
Definitely,
something,
definitely.
because that
Like-
has been kicking their tail.
And that's the thing. I want to say that I heard someone say, one of the people that was running was saying that, like, when cops go to certain calls, especially dealing with like
Mental
ransom or something like that,
ransom.
they should bring like a therapist of some
Yeah.
sort. Just not depend on a person that then read a book.
Oh,
To
yeah,
try to go
yeah.
through the steps with trying to secure, to make sure that people don't get hurt. But
Yeah, 'cause
it's so many avenues, and I think that it comes along with them knowing how to spend the money, and that's the problem. Is because the first thing that comes to mind is people, the law. The government said we don't have the money. No, you have the money. You had the money.
You're not
You
allocating it
misused the
correctly,
money,
yeah.
and you think that it should go one place when it should go to this place, so that you could function properly to be able to make the law work.
Absolutely.
You tell them, Governor.
I was on scene for this one shooting, and apparently the person was having a mental health crisis, and they went in, and it was like a misunderstanding, ended up shooting a person. I cannot remember if they died or not, but they were in critical condition. And my thing is, a lot of times people call the police because they need assistance physically. Like, hey, help me secure this, help me do this. I'm sure because it was in a residential area. So this is somebody they know. This is not somebody that broke into the house. This is me acting crazy and Candace calling the cops. It's something like that.
I'm
And
going to just shoot her, guys. All right.
I would rather you shoot me at this point. At least you shoot me in the leg.
Right.
Or the arm, or
Right,
the
yeah,
elbow.
yeah,
Shoot
yeah.
me somewhere
I
to
was
just
just
stop
ready
me,
to
not
say
to
that.
kill me.
That's the other thing.
Think so.
Shut up. So I just sat there and I was just like, I can't imagine the grief and the guilt that family
person
member
felt.
has to say, like, I called y'all to help and to protect me, and now the person that I was trying to get help for is fighting for their life and potentially not even here because the people that are supposed to serve me or supposed to help me don't have
Their
that
first
knowledge.
go-to is shoot to kill.
And it's like, aren't y'all trained to de-escalate
This
situations?
is what I'm saying. Because
Because if that's the case, we could just call a neighborhood drug dealer for this.
let me tell you something real quick, and they would
Tell
get the
me.
job done. And you know what I'm saying? They would work it out where Pookie ain't have to get killed.
That's
You
true.
know what I'm saying? Like they would take him to a secure location, and handle business or whatever, or
have
get
changed.
Pookie. I'm just
Pookie's
saying,
dying.
it's some of them people. I'm just saying, it's some people that's still handle things that way, but
Yeah.
or just have enough respect, to be like, no, let me handle this. At least try it that
Whoever
way.
you're talking about, they have to be really old. These young niggas, they don't have no respect.
Yeah, they don't care.
They
Out
just
here in these streets,
shooting
come on,
anybody.
y'all gotta stop it.
But yeah, I think
Thanksgiving street lessons, guys. Sign up. This show is so good, and we have so much to talk about it that we're going to just stop this here, put a pin in it, and come back.